Dear audience, my name is Viktória Barna and the title of my thesis is Physical Training: How to Achieve the Optimal Level. I am a dietitian and an agricultural engineer, and here you can see my affiliation and my team. My vision is exploring the benefits of physical activity in everyday life, and my mission is to provide clear evidence on which activities are beneficial and which are harmful. To achieve our aims, we have two specific goals. Our first project is to investigating the effect of regular training on bone-related biomarkers in healthy population. Why is this research important? We know that increasing physical activity and optimizing exercise is seen as an optimal way to improve musculoskeletal health. However, the relationship between bone biomarkers and regular exercise is still not known. It is still difficult to predict what type, intensity, frequency, and duration of exercise are optimal for bone health. Therefore, our aim is to study how musculoskeletal biomarkers are affected by regular training in healthy adults. A critical question is, what is the effect of regular training on bone-related biomarkers in healthy adults? To answer this question, we formulated the presented PICO framework, and our hypothesis is regular training affects musculoskeletal biomarkers. Our clinical implications is suggest optimal training protocols, and the research implication is to find the underlying mechanism of the different training types. We finalized our search key and made the systematic search in 3 free databases on November 22, and here you can see the final version of the search key and the number of hits. Please let me show you the flowchart of the selection. After title and abstract selection, we found 17 eligible articles for data extraction, and in reference chooser phase, we identified 5 more items. So finally, we added 22 articles into the final data pool. Please let me show you the list of the analyzed outcomes from the eligible studies. We included 22 articles into the quantitative analysis, and the studies were grouped by training type, like endurance, power and mix, and training intensity, like high intensity interval training, and low intensity. This forest plot presents the change in osteocalcin level after regular endurance training. In this analysis, we made 3 subgroups based on exercise intensity. The analysis of the high-intensity training group showed that high-intensity training has no significant impact on osteocalcin level. However, the training period was longer than 16 weeks, and the training frequency was more than 3 times a week. In the high-intensity interval training subgroup, the participants performed high-intensity training with 2-3 minutes of rest during the training sessions. This subgroup analysis showed us that high-intensity interval training significantly increased osteocalcin level. I would like to highlight this study where the difference was the largest. In spite of that, the training period was shorter than 16 weeks. In the low-intensity training group, the analysis did not show this significant change in osteocalcin level. However, I would like to highlight this study where the training period was longer than 4 years. This forest plot presents the change in bone alkaline phosphatase level after endurance training in healthy adults. The result mathematically and statistically insignificant with a small sample size and 64% of heterogeneity. In the included studies, the participants performed training in high intensity but low frequency and various duration. Therefore, the heterogeneity of the included studies were quite high. Although we observed some higher values, due to the high heterogeneity and the small sample size, there is no clear evidence of the effect of endurance training on bone alkaline phosphatase level. This forest plot presents a change in body mass index after regular endurance exercise training. The mean difference for BMI is 0.96, which means that comparing the effect of regular training to control, the experimental group performed better. However, the result result mathematically and statistically is insignificant, perhaps due to the small sample size. I would like to highlight this first study where the difference was the largest, and in this study the BMI decreased by 1.38 unit, which means that the average weight loss was 4.5 kg, which is a clinically relevant amount of weight loss. Here you can see the effect of different training type on bone mineral density. We analyzed the effect of endurance and power training on bone mineral density. The endurance training group, we made two subgroups based on frequency and intensity. The overall mean difference was 0 in both subgroups, which means that neither high-frequency exercise nor high-intensity interval training has significant effect on bone mineral density. This video shows the effects of power training on bone mineral density. The overall mean difference is 0, which means no difference between the intervention and the comparator groups. Given the small sample size and the heterogeneity among the studies, further research is required to provide more evidence on the effect of power training on bone mineral density. In summary, training type, frequency, duration, and intensity has no significant impact on bone mineral density. The overall analysis showed no effect on bone mineral density during endurance and power training, perhaps due to the limited number of available studies, small sample size, and the high heterogeneity. Although we included only randomized control trial into our analysis, our studies has their strengths and limitations. Finally, the conclusion of our research is high-intensity interval training significantly increased osteocalcin levels and tended to reduce BMI without affecting bone mineral density. The changes in osteocalcin level is rather influenced by intensity, not training duration or frequency. And of course, we also made implications for practice and research. Here you can see the current status of our manuscript and our first project progress. Our second topic is investigating the effect of regular training on micronutrient levels in healthy population. Why is this study important? We know that micronutrient deficiency is a hidden hunger and more than 2 billion people affected worldwide. Inadequate macronutrient intake has been linked to exercise, and this may result in exercise-induced micronutrient deficiencies. However, the impact of physical activity on micronutrient status is still unclear. Therefore, our aim is to identify how micronutrient levels are affected by regular training in health. Our critical question is, what is the effect of regular training on micronutrient levels in healthy adults? To answer this question, we formulated the presented PICO framework, and our hypothesis is training has effect on micronutrient level. The clinical implication of our study is to identify the baseline level of micronutrients in healthy adults with and without training, and identifying the risk of depletion and the need of appropriate supplementation. Here you can see our preliminary search key and the number of hits in the 3 main medical databases. And this is the second project progress. So in summary, we have 2 ongoing projects, both of them are systematic reviews and meta-analysis, and we plan to submit both articles in this year. And finally, I would like to thank you for your attention with a quote from Ashley Montagu: "The idea is to die young as late as possible." Thank you for your attention.